What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. For those of you who are new here, my name's Johnny.
I'm Reagan.
This is our bus, Miles of Smiles, and today we got a lot coming at you. And that's because, well, I didn't get a video out last week, but there's good reason. There's good reason behind this one, and that's because really nothing was complete. I went to make the video and wanted to post it, but really didn't have any completed projects to show you, so it would have just been like another week of kind of half completed stuff. And while some of it's rough plumbing and things like that, this week we've got some completed projects for you, and one that Reagan's very excited about.
Yes, very.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get going on some of those time lapses. I'm gonna throw myself in the corner and we're gonna show you how we built everything. Then we're gonna come back to us, present day, Friday, the day this is getting posted, and we're gonna show you some more close-ups, some more details, maybe explain a few things to you that I don't explain the time lapse. Then we'll wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Got anything to say?
Nope.
Should they be excited?
Yes, very excited. Because I'm very excited.
Yeah.
First time in a while.
True. Reagan's getting motivated by all the things that are happening. So, without further ado, let's roll the time lapse. I'll get talking, and then we'll come back. Hey guys, it's Johnny from way farther in the future than I had originally planned, but let's get talking about this. So we started with the plumbing. Here we are plumbing our city water inlet. So this is if we are connected to a hose, any sort of city water that's giving us pressure already, this is where it's coming in. All of our plumbing, we're using shark bite connectors and PEX plumbing. So the shark bite connectors are really nice because it's just push, feel the 2 clicks, and it's connected, and that's it. And you can disconnect them if you screw up pretty easily. But I will say they are expensive. They're really expensive, guys. Next, we moved on to paneling off some of the other walls. This definitely would have been a little bit easier to do before we built all this, but you know what? Whatever. It's getting done anyways, and we made it happen. Then we moved kind of back to some of the plumbing. So you can see we got some plumbing lines running there on the ground, and that's where the dogs are gonna walk into their bed. So we didn't want the dogs tripping over the plumbing lines. We didn't want us stepping on the plumbing lines if we're stepping in there, stepping around the bed. So we kind of had to make this cool little threshold piece that's gonna hide the lines underneath it. We'll show it to you at the very end. But it actually turned out great. We just made it out of a 2x6 that we had laying around. So we're using the scraps that we got left. Then we moved on to just plumbing the rest of our rough plumbing. So here we are trying to work it into the shower. And we have some electrical wires running down there for the marker lights in the side of the bus. But we're trying to keep our electrical wires above where any water is crossing past it. Just so that way, if the water's leaking, it's not leaking down onto the wires and the wires are running above it. Not sure it would really matter. The wires are obviously encased. It's just 12-volt wires for these LED marker lights, but regardless, want to be safe. Then it's time to finish the dog's bedroom. So just paneling off this area so we could get it painted black. Had to cut a few last minute holes. We realized, shoot, we're not gonna have access to our water tank anymore, at least temporarily. And we still needed to ratchet strap it down. We had taken the ratchet straps off a long time ago, and then we built the whole structure around it and needed to access it before we shut it away. Then it was time for the really exciting part, and that was finally paneling off our front walls, our spray foam, starting to cover some of it up and just make it feel a little bit more homey in the area. We used 1/2-inch plywood, and as you'll see, you know, if you've watched our other videos, we had to cut a bunch of holes to just kind of get around some of the bolts and the ways we had fixed the bus together after we basically reconstructed it. And so that's what all these random holes are for. But this is all going to be hidden. It's going to be behind stuff. It doesn't matter. 2x4 that we'd already built into the wall when we redid our walls and everything. And we're actually just building that up with another 2x4 to help keep the wall square. The bus walls are definitely not straight up and down. So we're just trying to make it as straight as possible with some of those other fixation points, just so the plywood's not bending a lot. There's not a lot of stress on the plywood. Back to some plumbing. So here I am with a hot water heater. We got a Excel tankless hot water heater, using some Teflon tape on the threads. Sorry this isn't the best angle here, it's kind of hard. We have everything stashed away in this corner for good reason. We want to keep it out of the way and kind of compact, but it's hard to show you guys what exactly is going on, but we'll walk you through it at the end. I was at the office and wanted to put the gas struts on the bed because I got new gas struts for the back door. So these are the 80-pound gas struts we use from the bed, and I originally had it as far wide as I could go, but the 1x4 on the ends couldn't quite handle the stress that it was putting on it, and that was without even any mattress or anything. So I moved them in a bit and put them more central on the boards, and they're holding up great, and they now actually lift the whole thing up by itself. But with the weight of the mattress on it, it's definitely going to stay down, but it'll also give us plenty of lifting power to assist us lifting it up. Then here we are, finally outside, working outside for once. We had a few nice days recently, and we wanted to work outside, put Miles back in the spot where it all started, and just enjoy the nice weather. So here we are, just sanding some wood filler that we had added, covering up a few screw holes. This isn't the greatest quality plywood that we're using, for good reason. It's all going to be mostly behind things, but we just want to cover up some of the things that maybe are going to be showing, just so they're not quite as obvious. Then it was time to start a very exciting project. Definitely Reagan was very excited about it, but we didn't realize how tricky it was going to be. So we started to build our upper cabinets. Now our plan was to just use 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood, use a bottom plate and a face plate and a bunch of pocket screws to fix them into the stud that we have in the ceiling and the stud along the wall. Well, we found out this day, and you see us struggling here, it wasn't really working out and it was going to be pretty tricky. So we went back home, we revised what we were going to do, we did a little bit of research, looked at a few ways some different people had done it, and thanks to Tale of Two Smitties, I'll give them the shout out on the video here. Their idea and their video was super helpful to us and gave us an idea of how we're going to build this. So you'll see us about to build it here in a moment and I'll explain it to you. But here we are on the next day when we're building that exact thing. So we took that base plate that we had already made out of 3/4 inch plywood and basically just added a 2x2 frame to the front of it. So we could make sure that they were nice and square to each other, and then we also put a 2x2 along the back to help fixate into that piece of lumber that you see there on the wall. By doing it this way and assembling all on the ground first, we could just make sure everything was really square, nice and square to each other, And then we knew that with the dimensions, we were going to be able to fixate it into a stud in both the wall and the ceiling. So it worked out really well, and it was much easier to do it this way. I can't tell you how much quicker it went. Granted, we had a little bit of, some things already made and whatnot, but it was much easier doing it this way than with two pieces of plywood. So after we had this little frame, we went ahead and we just got some standard flat trim and made the faces of cabinets, and then also made the cabinet doors. Definitely a more modular way, a lot more cutting and whatnot as far as little pieces, but definitely turned out great in the end still, and we love the way it looks. We ended up putting wood filler in the cracks where all the pieces of trim are coming together, and then we painted it black. So that's how we got it to be a pretty smooth look and not look like a bunch of different individual pieces. Here I am finishing off the cabinet doors. This was kind of a multi-day project as we had to make them, glue them together, add some wood filler, then I had to kind of fix some of that this day, and then paint them, and then actually add what I think is the coolest part about them. So here you see me cutting some copper, and we found these copper sheets at Home Depot along with this other textured metal sheet, and we thought, hey, it'd be pretty cool if we stacked those on top of each other and made a little accent, because we're gonna have copper all over our kitchen. So it was a nice way to tie it in. Pretty cheap. I think these sheets were each maybe $5. I don't know exactly, but maybe I'll link them below. Not too bad, and is gonna tie the kitchen in nicely, I think, and really tie in with the copper. Next week's video, we got some kitchen cabinetry coming your way. Really starting to frame out and build the mega furniture, guys. So kitchen cabinetry, our coffee bar, our couch. We got a lot coming at you in next week's episode. So you're definitely gonna want to subscribe. Stay tuned for that one. That's an exciting episode coming up. Alright, so now that you watched us build it, let's go ahead and give you some more details, show you some close-ups of how everything turned out. Starting here in front of the bus, you see we got all our wall paneling here done on this side, done here. Looking good, lots of holes, but it's going to be behind stuff, so it doesn't matter. Then, flipping this way, we got, Regan's so happy that the TV is mounted. But we got this front wall behind the driver's seat paneled off, TV remounted, because why not, right, Reg?
Why not?
Yeah, because it's safe up there while we build the bus.
So safe, not risky at all.
So that's done. We ran kind of roughly some 110 lines, and then of course, most importantly, this video, well, most importantly for Regan at least.
Oh, the cabinets,
yes.
Definitely most importantly.
Most importantly, we got our upper cabinets, and these Super happy with these. Look at, there's kind of, you can see how we layered those two pieces of metal to make this kind of copper and, would you say it's gray?
It's gray.
Gray.
It's not silver, it's gray.
Yeah. You can see that there. Yeah, watch how you can drop it all the way from the top. Ready? Choo! Soft close. Yeah?
They're nice. No necessary reason to drop them.
Yeah. But you can if you want to. You can drop them all the way from the top. Obviously, we still got a side plate we're going to put on here, but leaving that so we can still mess some electrical and put 2 lights underneath here. It's only about 9 inches by 9 inches, so it's going to be used primarily for cans and rice and, you know, small things that are going to fit in there. Pasta boxes, maybe.
But we measured with a mason jar, so we know that some stuff fits in there.
Yeah, so mason jar fits in there pretty comfortably. You know, it's still got room, and obviously maybe to get some things in, we'll have to turn it sideways or whatever, but it works.
It works.
Yeah. Drop it.
We just built them.
So then you got some of our rough plumbing for the sink coming through here. Rough plumbing for the bathroom coming through here. Reagan, the plumbing expert's going to walk you through our plumbing.
I wasn't going to do that. I was going to walk you through what we built right here.
Yeah, do it.
Super creative. What did we use? What is this?
It's a 2x6.
2x6.
We had laying around. Yeah.
Had to obviously cut it and notch it out, but what did you use to put these in?
We routed
some channels through here so that we could run the plumbing across, because this is going to be the dog's bed. So we didn't want, and it's going to be open like this, so we didn't want, obviously, tubes running across the front here. So had to come up with a creative threshold there.
Yeah, makes a nice little threshold, and the dogs are going to have a couple-inch mattress anyway, so they're going to step right over it. They got plenty of space. But obviously, also we put gas struts here on the bed holding itself up, which is awesome. Alright, and now we're going to give you a very high-level explanation of our plumbing here, because it's tucked back nicely back here in the corner behind everything. So back there you can see we got our gravity fill inlet that comes and zigzags into our tank. And then we have our water out below that. And one thing to note is we put a ball valve on that. Not sure if you can see that right now. Yeah, we put a ball valve on there just so we can shut it off from the very beginning. I don't know if it's really necessary, but we did it. And then that 90s, and you'll see the freshwater tank comes here to the water pump, accumulator tank, and then after the accumulator tank, we've got a check valve way down there underneath there. And here we have our city water coming in. That's got a check valve on it. And those combine after the check valve from the fresh tank. And those, then that cold water line tees. One feeds our hot water heater here. And then it comes and tees again. That feeds our sink. And then this one here that goes under our little threshold goes around and feeds the shower right there. So after the water then comes out of the hot water heater, you'll see it tees there, feeds the sink, and feeds the shower. We went with the Excel hot water heater. It's a tankless, supposedly ventless design, but we do have it right here by our emergency exit window, which we can very easily open and vent it as we feel. We obviously are still going to probably crack a window whenever we're using it, but it has D batteries as a igniter for the pilot light, and then also it has a cool design where if it senses that there's too much or too little oxygen content in the air, it actually won't start at all. It won't heat. So hopefully a little safety thing there. And we still have to officially mount it. It's just hanging on this one screw right now. Had pretty good reviews, and I liked some of the features on it. I'll link an Amazon link below if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. German engineering, German technology. So, you know you can trust it. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this week's video. A little double up video here. Lots of progress obviously we've been making here lately, which we're super excited about. And progress that's very motivating. especially
yes,
the
very
wagon.
motivating. It's revitalizing.
Yeah, so if you're building a bus, just know that there's going to become a time where you're building things again, things are looking better, you're covering things up, and it's feeling more and more like a home. So just know it's coming, and stick with it, and it's gonna be worth it. Next week, and well, we're starting this work tomorrow because tomorrow's Saturday, but next week.
Well, we already started this.
We already started it. Maybe I'll show some of the clips to you, but we're building the rest of the kitchen cabinets. So we've refined our design. We were here yesterday trying to do some of it, but needed to tweak our design a little bit. Need to get a few things like drawer slides and some things for the fridge to make it slide out. That's going to be awesome because we're going to have a kitchen in our bus. So that's pretty close on the radar. So stay tuned for that next week, guys. But for now, we're going to get back home. I'm going to get editing, do a little voiceover on this thing. Regan's all worried about me getting it out on time.
Subscribe.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course, guys. Of course, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you've been here before. If you haven't been here before and this is your first time, please go ahead and consider subscribing. It supports us. It motivates us to want to get more creative, want to make better videos, and just keep growing. So we appreciate all the support we get from you guys, the likes, the comments. We love seeing you come back. So go ahead and just know that it means something to us, and we really appreciate it. For now, we're going to get back home, go back home to the doggies, and get excited for another weekend of bus work coming up. So we'll go ahead and see you on the next one.